Hello everyone, I'm your king, Willis Mikky. Welcome back to the YouTube channel, and today I have some Reddit stories for you. So, how about we get started with the first story? And this first story is from r/relationship advice and does have an update. My boyfriend, 22 male, wants to have sex with me, 23 female, every day, multiple times a day. Can someone help? Me and my boyfriend have been dating for about almost 3 years and are currently living together. However, I work 2 jobs and barely have time for myself or my family because he also demands a lot of attention and sex. I barely feel like myself because I don't have time to do my makeup or do a skincare routine, simple things like that. I feel overwhelmed and I want to do other things when I have some extra free time. He constantly wants to stay home, have sex, and call it a day. It bores me. Don't get me wrong, I love the sex and intimacy, and I love him, but I don't want to have a day like that every day, especially when I'm occasionally free from work. I want to enjoy life, do other things. I tried to bring it up and he said that I don't love him enough or suggests I have someone else. I'm also tired of his lack of trust in me. I would never do anything like that or even imagine it. He always seems to try to put the blame on me for everything. It's obvious he's got problems to solve and should see a therapist, but he neglects it because it will change him, he says. I'm just tired of this BS. Before I give my commentary of this story, let's see what the community has to say about OP's situation. Our first reply is from Susie C0161. You've posted 2 other posts, different to this one and each other, about your relationship issue. This is clearly not a good relationship. You're young. Get out now. And user Sugar Me Timbers replies underneath that reply with, after reading the other posts, it sounds like you're just a doll in his eyes. Sorry to say this, he doesn't listen because he probably doesn't value your words or you as a human being. He twists things around and makes you feel bad so you can submit and keep things he enjoys. He's sucking your life away. Girl, leave. Find someone that puts as much effort as you do into caring for your partner. Now, I found these posts, but I'm not going to read them out, but what I will do is read out the titles. My boyfriend wants to have kids before marriage. Can someone give advice on this? That's the first post, and the second post is titled, my boyfriend and me are having relationship issues that seem unresolvable. Can someone help? The next reply is from Sue Likes Frogs, and Sue asks, can you not just tell him exactly what you wrote here? And user Alarmed Jellyfish 555 replies underneath that with, it's so much worse than this post makes it seem, which is bad. Her boyfriend treats her like his bangmate. He doesn't help with housework and he doesn't work. So she's working 2 jobs so that he can treat her like his personal maid and sex doll. OP, you need a therapist because there is an underlying issue here if you're willing to put up / enable this manipulative, useless leech. The next reply is from Usually Right. Do not have sex until you want to. Just because you live together, that doesn't mean you owe him sex on demand. He ostensibly has hands. He can use those or buy a fleshlight. He's just gross. Make an exit plan. The next reply is from Crooked Summer 2019. If he is placing sex multiple times a day over your well-being, despite you expressing your concerns and boundaries, then it's time you dump him and give him a fleshlight as a parting gift. And now it's time for my commentary, and OP, this guy does not even deserve the fleshlight. And this guy is just a loser. He's a leech. He's adding nothing positive towards your life. So the question is, why stay with him? There's no reason. He's not working while you're working 2 jobs. He's sitting around doing nothing all day. Does he do chores? Does he clean? Does he cook? Does he do anything throughout his day? He's adding nothing towards your life or towards your life together with him. He's just a headache. So OP, I would say dump this loser and find somebody who will appreciate you. So now let's go to the update that is in the same post to see how this story ends. Update. I've decided to leave him. It's breaking me apart to do so because I don't want to be the one to get out when things get difficult, and I don't want to leave him stranded when he needs help. But there's so much I can do. It's really hard for me not to think about someone else's feelings and be selfish. But I guess this is it. Thanks for all the helping comments. I guess I just needed to know I was not crazy and stop blaming myself. OP, I know you're a bit sad at the moment, but I'm gonna say this is a happy update. I know it doesn't feel like it, but this guy was a leech. He was a bum. He was a loser, an absolute pathetic loser. The fact that you worked not one, but 2 jobs, and he expected you to have sex with him multiple times a day like he deserves it, like he earns it, and he does nothing. Why is this guy not working? Why is this guy not doing chores? Why is this guy not cooking, cleaning? He's a loser, and I am glad you got rid of this loser. You can do so much better, and I hope you do better, and I hope once you find that one, or even get into a decent relationship, this person might not even be the one, you'll realize, wait, this relationship I had with my loser ex, my bum ass ex, was terrible. He was not a good partner. So OP, I wish the best of luck for you in all of your future. Take care, OP. And now let's move on to the next post, which also has an update. And this post is from r/relationship. My 26 female boyfriend, 26 male, wants me to pay all the rent/bills while he only pays for some groceries. We have been together for 2 years. We've decided we want to move in together at the beginning of next year. He wants me to pay the rent and all the bills, utility, electricity, and internet. And he only pays for groceries. He makes more than I do, but has more expenses than I do. So I technically end up with more spending/saving money than he does. I think this makes sense if we were married and truly combined our income, but it's just our first time living together. Even though I have less expenses, it still seems unfair that I would pay about $1,400 to live here and he would only pay $350 for groceries. He also says I should set aside about $200 for groceries too, so we can buy better quality food. To me, it seems he just can't afford to move at all. He's currently living with his dad, where he pays no rent or bills there. His biggest expense are his car and a loan to pay off his fixing car, and spends about $80 a week on gas. But he insists it makes sense for me to pay that much since we're a team. But I just have a bad feeling about it. The ratio is just so big, it seems like I'd be better off just moving into a bigger apartment by myself, or just stay in the one I already have where my expenses are nearly half of that. Is this truly fair? Is it really a good idea for me to do this? Before I get into the update, let's see what the community has to say about this situation. The first user states, he makes more than you, but you need to pay for everything because he's terrible with money. Babe, that's not a long-term great thing. And Cassidy replies underneath that with, this is mind-boggling. And that first user replies with, he's gonna take her for everything she's worth and somehow make her feel bad she can't give more. The next user, Gone Baby Thought, says, trust your gut. He's not acting in good faith or partnership by asking you to run the majority of your shared living expenses. It's a bad idea and you should stay in your current place while seriously contemplating your financial value compatibility. And Cassidy replies once again, agree, OP, stay where you're at. He wants to move out of his father's place, where he pays nothing, to a place with you where he still pays nothing. Who does he think you are? His mother? You need to seriously reconsider this relationship. How confused has he made you where you actually question if that's fair? There's absolutely nothing fair about it. Now it's time for my commentary, and I agree with those comments. OP, there is nothing benefiting you here. He makes more than you, but he wants you to pay significantly more than he is willing to pay. Realistically, it should be about 50-50, or even if you are both going to use this car, right? It can be something a bit higher in your range, but still, this seems crazy. You are not wrong for thinking this is unfair because it is unfair. So OP, I would suggest you have more talks with him, your point of view on things, how this is unfair and everything like that. And if he still is unwilling, I would say put a hold on this like moving in situation you guys are talking about. Put that on hold, and hell, even really question the relationship. But now we check out this update to see how this story ends. Update. Thanks everyone for your responses and giving me validation. I definitely have a lot of clarity now, and I assure you this is real and actually happening. I decided to tell him these concerns directly again. He was annoyed at me and went on about how I'm overreacting and that I don't love him if money matters this much to me. I even brought up the situation of it just being roommates and that it would be fair to him. He literally told me that he had roommates before where they paid that unfairly. I told him that someone was getting screwed over. He just disagreed with everything and acted like he was absolutely right about it all. This honestly is really heartbreaking to me because otherwise he has treated me well. He didn't change his stance at all besides just saying he wishes it wasn't this way and that if he had more money, he would pay the majority of everything. He keeps telling me he's willing to do anything to be with me, and that's why he's so upset that I won't agree to this. He says the advantage is just the fact that we will be together. Of course, I want to be with the person I love, but it doesn't make sense and he can't afford it. I don't think I will be moving in with him. I don't know if our relationship will last after talking about this. I really wish we can find a way to work it out. Also, I agree that he absolutely has to be hiding other expenses because it doesn't add up that he can only afford $350. He told me he could afford $350 and still have $500 left for spending. So actually, he wants to assure that he still has spending money for himself instead of making it fair. He wants us to combine our spending money leftovers. I feel like he tried to manipulate my emotions so much in this situation, and it's hard to accept someone you trust and had so much love for would resort to that. Like, just be honest. Have respect for me that I even think that this is serious at all. Overall, I won't be moving in with him anytime soon. But I'm now pretty heartbroken and have to think things over with him in general. Well, OP, I can't lie. I am happy you're not moving in with him, and I also hope he sees things from your perspective and he changes like this crazy mindset. Well, this is not crazy. Yes, it is. It is crazy. This stupid mindset. So OP, I wish the best of luck for you in your future. Best of luck to you in this relationship, OP. Now it's time to move on to the next post. In this next post, it doesn't have an update, but it's a prequel to another post that does have an update. So let's get started with this first post. And this first post is from the relationship advice subreddit. Am I, 26 male, right for feeling like my girlfriend, 25 female, is putting up extreme boundaries? So, a little bit of context. I have been together with my girlfriend for just over 2 years now, and we live together in an apartment. We do love each other very much and are extremely committed to one another. We are both very atypical direct people that like to share our feelings and opinions. Sometimes this can get a bit messy and cause some really bad arguments. We are both very sensitive and get our feelings hurt in the mix. We are aware and working on it. My girlfriend is very direct and almost authoritative at times, and it really has caused some resentment out of me. Typically, it happens when she expresses her feelings in a very demanding manner with an aggressive tone, and it constantly feels like she's talking to me like I'm a child and she's the parent. Immediately, it gets me triggered and we start arguing, and I can't actually listen to what is bothering her or her feelings. I have voiced that she needs to communicate her needs and feelings to me in a calm and respectful manner, but she hasn't really fixed this. Fast forward to last night, and we got into an argument because she had a problem with some people I had on my social media. She saw that I still had my ex from high school on my Facebook along with her family, and kind of started to spiral from there. Keep in mind, this was a high school relationship that was over 10 years old. She immediately started saying that she won't marry someone that still has an ex on their social media and that it's disrespectful to have them on there. As she started expressing this in her typical authoritative way, I calmly told her I disagree, that this shouldn't be a big deal, as this was an ex in an unserious relationship in high school. I told her she could have an ex from high school on her social media and it wouldn't bother me, which is true. Well then, here's where it gets even harder for me to understand. She then proceeded to say that I have too many questionable friends on Snapchat, and it's also disrespectful that I have them on there. Keep in mind, I don't snap these questionable people, nor have I ever, and she knows that. They have been added on there from before I met her. I started to tell her that these people were no harm to us, and that I have never and will never reach out to them because I'm in a committed relationship to you. She could have cared less about what I said and continued to repeatedly say, I will not marry nor be with someone that has questionable friends on their social media. It's flat out disrespectful, and I will not explain further. So, long story short, I cannot understand her perspective because she didn't want to elaborate, and now it just feels like she's trying to control the situation. I feel powerless in arguments like this, and it just seems to me that no matter what I might believe or feel like, it gets overshadowed. Oh, and by the way, I removed all these questionable people and my ex from high school since I know her and she won't ever let it go. And it would have caused another string of arguments until I did. I'm starting to feel like I'm losing my mind here. Now, I'm going to go through the comments of this post before we go to the other posts. And that other post does have an update. This first user says, for clarification, boundaries are not intended to control the other person, in this case, you. If she feels like her boundaries have been violated, then it's her responsibility to leave. Demanding that you behave a certain way on the behalf of her boundaries is controlling behavior. Bright Wings says, I don't know. Personally, if it's an ex from 10 years ago, I would have no problem removing them from my social media if my partner feels uncomfortable about it. I'd also have no problem removing people I don't even interact from Snapchat in order for the person I love to feel reassured. It's one thing to say these people are no threat. It's another to follow up with that action and remove them if they're no matter or importance to you. I imagine maybe she feels icky about this apparent need to keep people from a decade ago and people you have no ongoing relationship with on your social media and Snapchat, and that having these filter people taking up space even though you don't interact with them is more important than her feelings. User regular discount 4816 says, your right to understand the why of things is more important than the way they manifest. Lean harder into that. She feels threatened by this and frustrated. You're not going to logic your way around it. Efforts like how you describe will simply, in the end, trend to invalidation. Only makes it worse. And OP replies with, so how will things get better if I continue to try to understand the why if she just gets threatened by this? So now, let's go on to OP's next post, which is titled, I, 26 male, went out with my friends last night and my girlfriend, 25 female, got angry with me. What happens next? So, yesterday I went out with my friends and got pretty drunk. I didn't do anything wrong in my eyes. I just got carried away with my friends in a good time. My girlfriend was working. She's a night nurse. And I ended up staying out with them pretty late, almost until the bar closed. My friends and I just had a lot of laughs and a good time. I didn't talk to any girls or do anything I should not be doing, like I said. Everything was fine with our communication, and she had my location. And I didn't move or go to a different bar. I just stayed at the same one with my friends for a long time. We were probably there for about 6 hours since there was a big game on, and we got there early to get a spot. Anyways, me and my friends were noticeably getting pretty drunk. And then my girlfriend texted me and said, "You're still out? Don't they close like in 30 minutes?" And I said, yeah, we were about to leave soon and order an Uber. She then proceeded to say, "Why are you still there? It's been almost 10 hours, like WTF, where are you?" And then I said we're on our way back. And she proceeded to text back and say, "I'm legit pissed. Why the hell were you at the bar for like 10 effing hours? What the F happened to you?" I really feel like this is a dramatic response in reaction. I also wasn't there for like 10 hours. Like, I get it. I was out drinking for a long time and got carried away. And that can be annoying, but you don't have to get that pissed off at me. I also don't do this ever at all. And I don't go out to bars every weekend or something like that. I can't even remember the last time I went out to a bar and got drunk as I did. And maybe that's why she was annoyed. But you don't have to get to react this way. This isn't the first time she has talked to me like that too. I have expressed that she needs to control her reactions better and not talk to me like the way she does when she gets upset. She says she will work on it, but then does things like this. I'm struggling to understand her reaction to this, and I'm afraid that this is a fundamental issue in our relationship that hasn't been fixed. I'm starting to feel like it won't be fixed either. How can I handle this situation? Should she be reacting this intensely to something like this? Before I give my commentary, let's see what the community has to say about this situation and what advice they have for OP. User Usual Right 2 kicks us off with, "I don't really understand her level of piss here. She knew you were going out. She wasn't at home. It's not like you were coming home and waking her up. I'd tell her you don't appreciate her actions and words. You're an adult. You aren't out all the time. You didn't drive drunk. You were just out with friends. What's her damage?" And a throwaway account replies underneath that with, "It's definitely worth a calm discussion about boundaries and expectations. If this reaction continues, it might signal deeper trust issues that need addressing before they escalate further." User Final Grocery states, "It sounds like an overreaction to me too. I can imagine being vaguely annoyed and probably a little jealous of the good time my boyfriend was having in her situation. But I'd also recognize that he's his own person and is perfectly free to enjoy his friends and have a good night out. It's not a fair reaction to blow up at you in an event. It doesn't sound like you did anything wrong. The way you tell it, if she's frequently does this, I'd be having a serious sit down about appropriate boundaries and behavior if the relationship continues. I walked on eggshells throughout a 10-year marriage, never knowing what innocuous thing might make him lose his shit again. It's been such a peaceful life since I left him." User Sorry Thing says, "After reading the post he made 3 days ago, which we already read, I'm going to put this little outburst down to insecurity, something she really needs to work on." And this user replies underneath that with, "Yeah, I 100% agree. Furthermore, if she doesn't really put effort into changing this behavior and coping with insecurity, it's only going to get much, much worse." User Questiony says, "Because you're not allowed to have fun if she isn't having fun." And OP replies to this with, "I think this could be it. She could have had a bad night at work too, but still not right on her part to react like that and take it out on me." And user Vanilla replies underneath OP's reply with, "If this is it, drop her. For F's sake, you shouldn't be in competition with your partner. What the hell? User Little Red Riding Hood says, she sounds controlling. You're a grown-ass man capable of making your own decisions and determining on your own how long you should be hanging out with your friends. Why does it feel like she's putting limits on what you do? Talk down to you like you're some sort of out-of-control teenager instead of her equal. Nah, nope. Time to have a hard conversation, OP. If she can't get it together and respect your autonomy as a grown man, then that might be a good reason to cut bait. She is your girlfriend. She can ask or suggest, but she doesn't get to demand and control. If there has been no incident of cheating, lying, or any other flags, this is her problem that she insists on making a you problem. You can't fix, only she can. Good luck. And OP replies underneath that with, what you just said seems to be a reoccurring theme. It's hard when you love someone that won't actually do the work to fix the issue. She has talked to me like this so many times before. I have been having a lot of serious talks with myself about what should I do, and the thought of breaking it off has started to creep into my mind because she doesn't improve the way she talks to me. It's belittling when she talks to me the way she does. You're right, I'm a grown man. And now let's see the update to see how this story ends. Update. I tried to have a conversation and feel like I came into it a bit defensive because I couldn't understand what really pissed her off. But she said I wasn't communicating well throughout the night, and it was the amount of drinking I did that also upset her. I told her I get too carried away and that I could have communicated better, but I still told her I was ordering an Uber and I was having fun with my friends. It was really hard not to get defensive because I feel like it's hard to really understand the issue. As soon as I voiced how she talked to me, she immediately said she didn't do anything wrong, and that's where the conversation escalated into a big argument. I really started getting pissed off, and I told her that this always happens, and she never admits her wrongdoing. And she said that she talked to me the way she did because I was in the wrong, and she didn't deserve that. I then said no matter what I do, even if it upsets you, you don't get to talk down to me like you're my mother. It doesn't give you the right. Basically, towards the end of the argument, she finally apologized for the way she talked to me, and it calmed down. I told her we need to see a therapist together if we wanted to move forward because we're getting nowhere with our reoccurring issues. She's constantly disappointed by my communication when she's working, and I'm constantly disappointed with the way she talks to me. The issues we have with each other are really bad because she constantly feels like I don't tell her what's going on and giving updates through text when I'm out or not with her. And I tell her she doesn't need a life update every 5 seconds because it's evasive and controlling. I'm hoping we can go through couples counseling, and this gets us somewhere because I do love her. But like I said, love can only be so strong before the unhappiness really sets in. Wish me luck, and thanks to all the comments. OP, here's my advice. Hopefully it does work, but if couples counseling does not work, end it. End this relationship. If my partner, now I'm single, but if I had a partner and they talked to me down when I was a child and my mother was disciplining me, yeah, I'm walking out of that relationship because you're looking down at me. You're not trying to talk to me. You're not trying to communicate. You're only just trying to say what I'm doing wrong without talking about it. It doesn't feel right. And I hope things do work out for you two. Hopefully she does change, or you're just happy in some type of way. So OP, I wish you the best of luck in your future. So hey, that was the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comment section down below, what did you think of these stories? Let me know that. But for now, I've been your king, Willis Mikky, and your king is signing off.